because we were in love with it. We're like, the sport needs some billionaires who just throw a ton of money on it and just get it huge. And then the Fertitta brothers come along, billionaires with a ton of money who are huge fans of the sport, just love the sport. And so then they buy the UFC for like $2 million, which is probably the greatest purchase ever, except they were $40+ million in the hole when they financed the Ultimate Fighter. It's so wild and so crazy that millions of people start tuning in. The sport's born. Then you have Chuck Liddell, who was the champion at the time, who was the most fan-friendly champion you could ever have, just a f***ing berserker, with just a psychopath with a f***ing head tattoo and a mohawk, crushing people. In his prime, he was the perfect poster guy for the UFC because he was just smashing people and then throwing his arms back like rah, in a cage. It was nuts. I'm sure you've seen a lot of Chuck Liddell fights, right?
Yeah.
It was just the whole thing took off, but without Dana, it would have never taken place. The guy's tireless. That man, I could call him up. I'll call him up at like 2 o'clock in the morning sometime. Like there's some fight going on, and I'll say, hey, this is going on next weekend. I'm so fucking pumped, and we'll talk for hours. He just wants to talk about fights. He's like so locked in, like all the time.